Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wayne Gaming and something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you to the Let's Play episode of Repeat, Sissel's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. So I have to keep saying no. Worry fluttered across Owen's face. He gingerly reached out and grasped Philip's hand. Philip fought the immediate instinct to pull away. You know, sex doesn't need to be a thing in a relationship. It was Philip's turn to bark out laugh. Excuse me, have you seen yourself? I mean, maybe that's true for some people, but you are easily the horniest, most dick-driven man I've ever met. Ha, I'll take that as a compliment. But I can change if... Don't. Don't force yourself to change just for me. I wouldn't want you to anyway. I don't really give a damn who you sleep with, to be perfectly honest. That is easily the most boring part about you. Philip sighed. I don't think I'm ready for anything romantic right now. Maybe in the future I will be, but not right now. Owen was silent for a while. So, what are we then? Just friends? Philip looked up sharply. There is no just about it. We're friends, two friends who love each other. I've always been proud of what we have together. A soft smile spread across Owen's face. Friends who love each other. He repeated the words as though testing how they feel. Yeah, I think I like that. Philip smiled back, a peaceful look settling across his face. His ears perked up as he suddenly spotted a familiar car approaching in the distance. Speaking of being friends and doing stuff for each other, I've suckered Morse here for you. You mentioned that you wanted to talk to him, right? Owen blinked. Right, I did say that at some point. How did you get him to show up? I sicked Adrian and Jenny on him. Ah. Philip nodded and hopped up onto his feet. Well, here you go. Best of luck to both of you. Ginny and I blinked and ducked back into the shrubs as Philip approached us with a stern look. You two heard all that, didn't you? We poked our heads out of the bush and gave him the most innocent looks we could muster. Aw, Philip's finally talking about his feelings. I'm proud of you, my guy. I nodded with a grin. That was so sweet. You two are so good for each other. Philip glared at us flatly. You know, get Morse to come to this location did not also mean please come and eavesdrop. And miss out on all this juicy gossip? Nah. I hate all of you. Oh no, people will know that you have feelings. Tragic. I'll never live this down. Oh, that's my chair creaking. Okay. Anyway, move over. I'm staying to eavesdrop on Owen and Morse's little chat. Wow, hypocrite. Hey, I didn't set all this up just to miss out on the results. We might finally see Morse loosen up for once. Morse? Showing feelings? I'll believe it when I see it. Second, y'all. Let me crack this sucker open. Oh. Oh, baby girl, it's so good. Okay. Shh, he's getting out of the car. The car door closed with a sharp thunk behind Morse as he stepped out and glanced around warily. I don't see Philip bleeding out on the floor, so I assume this was a trap. Owen grinned and raised his hands in surrender. In my defense, I didn't arrange this. Guilty by association, then. Either way, I'm here. Speak. Are you in a hurry to leave? No, not particularly. Owen patted the open spot on the bench as an invitation. Then sit, we've got time. Morse hesitated and looked like he was about to refuse, but after a moment he sighed and relented. The two of them settled down on the park bench and stared out into the pleasant summer street, both refusing to look at the other. After several long moments, Owen finally spoke up. So, about my bike. Are you still upset about that? It's my bike. It died a noble death for a good cause. What more could you want? Well, the problem is that it technically wasn't my bike. Not after I ran away from home. Since then, my butler's been using it. And I borrowed it for a few days. And now it's at the bottom of a lake. Morse fell silent at the mention of Owen's butler. Samuel. Yeah, he's probably freaking out about that. And probably also worried about the fact that I showed up on the news as a poor kidnapped youth. It was originally supposed to be my bodyguard and protect me from that sort of thing. Until you ran away from home. Owen nodded solemnly. Until I ran away from home. He sighed. I was thinking, after I return from this trip with Sissel, I want to go home and apologize. For ruining his motorbike. Me? Yeah, that. Among other things. I figured you'd like to join me. Morse buried his face deeper in his scarf. Owen glanced up at him. You will join me, won't you? I suppose we both have quite a bit to apologize for. Yeah, worst excuse for a disguise among one of them. Ah, there you go. Morse Winston finally pulled off his scarf and coat with a withered look. That is a weird-ass fucking hat. That looks like a Final Fantasy item. Come on, I fooled you for at least a day or two. Yeah, when I was exhausted and sleep-deprived. That whole getup looks ridiculous. It'd be more surprising if you weren't hiding something. When did you find out? I always suspected, but I hadn't seen you for like 7 years, so I thought I might have been mistaken. But then Sissel showed me this old photo of his parents. Huh. Morse brushed the edge of the photo gently with his thumb, his face softening. This feels like a lifetime ago. That's good. Damn, that's good. That is raspberry nectarine flavor. Damn. Owen leaned back with a small grin. Yeah, I can tell because you're actually smiling. There was a lot less to frown at back in the day. Like your death? Morse looked up from the photo sharply. 7 years. I thought you were dead for 7 years. You never called, you never told us what happened? It was a difficult situation. I cried for you. I grieved for you. Samuel took it even harder than me. And I was a shiny little brat who went away from home and left him all alone. The least the two of us could do is to go home together and apologize, don't you think? Morse was silent for a very long time. His gaze was fixed on one of the grinning faces in the photo. He's absolutely going to punch me in the face when we get home. When? Owen blinked for a moment before letting out a soft chuckle. In his defense, you definitely deserve it. Probably. He handed back the photo and sighed. Well, we can arrange everything after you return from your trip. Why can't we go right now? I'm hoping the punch will be slightly less painful if I return with a replacement motorcycle. Oh, that would be fantastic! The bike would be solely in Samuel's name, and it will be painted a respectable color. Hey, he liked the orange paint job. Morse shot Owen a stern look. He chose an orange bike because you kept begging for it. I will not be hearing any more arguments, young man. All the air left Morse's lungs as Owen suddenly leaned forward and pulled him into a tight, relieved hug. It's good to have you back, Uncle. Morse hesitated before gently returning the embrace. Lots of uncles coming out of the woodwork lately. Your friends should watch out. They broke up their hug with a shared smile. Morse clapped Owen on the back before turning to leave. I best get going. You still haven't finished packing for your trip, have you? Well, figures. Don't let me keep you. We can catch up when you come back in a few days. Heh, I'll hold you to that. With one last shared laugh, they departed with the weight on their shoulder a little lighter. Morse immediately made a beeline for our shrub with murder in his eyes. So, this is the thanks I get after I save your lives. The three of us poked our heads out of the bush with playful grins. You look happy. I most certainly am not. You're positively glowing. Morse sighed and rubbed his temples. I hate kids. Why do I always seem to be surrounded by them? The bouncers at the Robin's Nest keep joking that our building is slowly turning into a daycare. Speaking of being saddled with kids, do you think you can do one last favor for me? You know, while you're here and all? I want to help psych up Sissel for the big tournament tomorrow. Owen had spotted us topple out of the local greenery, beamed excitedly. Oh, are we gonna go with my skimpy cheerleading outfit idea? No. Absolutely not. I mean, it's not a bad idea. You guys could distract the other contestants during the tournament. We'll put that idea on the back burner. Right now, we just need someone to give us a ride to the mall before they close. Morse shot me a withering look. Why would you ask me? Excuse me, because you won't say no? Morse's hawk-like eyes shot daggers into my grinning face for several long moments before he relented and hung his head in defeat. No, I won't. Thanks, Morse. I knew we could count on you. Get in the car. Never ask me for anything ever again. No promises. Cuties. The sun was already setting as Sissel and Herschel trekked through the grassy trails of Bradley Lake. It felt a little surreal that a week ago they were fighting for their lives at this very lake. Sissel could still picture vividly how he desperately grasped onto Herschel as he rasped for breath on the sandy beach, the wail of the sirens as the ambulance approached. Despite everything, they survived. And now they were back to the very woods that Sissel had grown up in while still without a home. The same woods where his mother perished so many years ago. Honestly, he wasn't sure if these woods were cursed or a place of comfort. He felt Herschel nudge him gently. You look distracted. A penny for your thoughts? I'm just wondering what Mom would have thought about everything that's happened, Herschel snorted. Oh, she'd be beyond proud of you, sis. Lifting yourself out off the streets, getting into Gerania, competing in the tournament tomorrow. You're a survivor, just like her. Now me, that's another story. If her ghost was following her, she'd be screaming the entire time about how stupid I was. Isn't that just natural sibling behavior? Herschel shrugged. Fair, she'd be right, though. I defend you with some glowing reviews. Ha! No one can out-argue your mom, I'm afraid. Huh, I can be good at arguing, too. They quietly chatted amongst themselves as they settled down at the lake's edge. Once the sun set, the fireflies would soon emerge. At this time of year, they blanket across Bradley Lake like a galaxy of shimmering stars. You know, people say fireflies are souls of loved ones who arrive to bring comfort to the living. I'm not exactly a spirity kind of guy, but this felt like a good way to pay respect to Cecilia, especially right before we leave for the competition. And maybe she'll give you her blessings to kick the other contestants' asses. Sissel was silent for a bit. The sky was beginning to dim as they trekked through the familiar trail of Bradley Woods. It's kind of weird. I saw the dancing fireflies every summer as a kid when I stayed at the lake. It feels strange that I was so close to my mom here despite not knowing it back then. Heh, I mean the lake did shelter and protect you a bit while you were growing up. Maybe that was Cecilia's way of looking out for you. Maybe. You've gotten more into the spiritual hocus-pocus lately. Almost dying can do that to you. I guess I'm just trying to see the world in a new light. Sissel hummed thoughtfully. Hey, boss? How are you feeling lately? I mean, you nearly died after all. You doing okay this past week? Herschel scratched his chin. Like you said, it's been kind of weird. I feel grateful to still be alive and kicking, and grateful that you're still with me. The two of them continued trekking through the woods as Herschel's mind wandered. For the past 2 decades, I've been living with the weight of my guilt over my shoulders, but you and your friends managed to drag me out of that. Especially Adrian. That kid has a surprising temper. Sissel let out an amused laugh. He sure knows how to knock you out of your moping sessions. Heh, I'm sure you have plenty of practice. That being said, I still feel guilty, but I can't let that guilt color everything I have. There's still a lot of life left to live, and I want to live it with gratitude instead of suffering the whole time. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle, y'all. I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!